Welcome back. I've got Ken Forrester here of Ken Forrester Wines, and he brought me two really interesting wines to pair with my dish. So welcome, Ken, and thanks for making the time. I know you're a busy guy.
Ruben, nice to be here. Thanks, man. Thanks very much. You know, when you said to me you're going to be doing a pork loin cutlet, I wasn't sure if pork's the other white meat or the other red meat. I thought if life's about choices, let's go both ways.
Right.
And we're going to start off with a Chenin Blanc. And the idea with Chenin Blanc, and listen to this closely, that's the click of quality.
Oh.
You have a perfect closure in a screw cap that just does everything that a cork does properly every time. It's the right thing to do. So there's a little bit of Chenin Blanc. And I thought pork with Chenin Blanc, one option, not all the options, but certainly, you know, if we're going to test and see the alternative, and there again, that wonderful click of quality, even red wine does well under a screw cap.
Even red wine?
Perfect, absolutely, absolutely.
So you don't have issues with corked wines and
You
problems
never
like
have
that, eh?
a bad cork. Now, that's a good thing for me, trust me, that's just lovely.
It's a good thing for us in the restaurant industry as well, isn't it?
Perfect. And here you have the option, white wine, Chenin Blanc, fresh. Chenin Blanc typically is white fruit, apples, pears. You're looking at sunshine in a glass, but really delicious richness. This has been partly barrel fermented with spontaneous wild yeasts, so there's a nice richness on the palate. But at the same time, there's a tank effect here of nice, clean, crisp. And with the pork, I thought Chenin Blanc might be an option.
Well, you know, there's a little bit of fattiness on the pork, and I think it cuts beautifully through that fat, but still, it goes with all the other elements on the plate too, for me. I'm a Chenin Blanc fan, and I think it can actually go with almost anything. And it's surprising how it goes with the pork, and I can imagine with poultry and other type of dishes as well. And I've added this port sauce, and I thought it would clash a bit, but it actually doesn't.
That was when you said the port sauce. I thought, okay, then maybe we should try it with something a little more spicy, a little richer. And if you think of spice in a wine, you're thinking of Rhone, you're thinking of Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. And these are the typical Rhone red varieties that do so well here in the Stellenbosch region, near the ocean, because we've got a typical Mediterranean climate. It's cold, wet winters, long, dry summers. We've got olives, garlic, grapes, tomatoes. You think of it, it's just the same stuff as you see in the south of France, in the Rhone Valley. Same grapes, got to work.
I love this wine. I mean, for me, it's quite elegant, it's light.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can have it, I'd have it on its own, basically. For me, with the pork, it's pretty neck and neck, eh?
You know, I have people saying to me so often, how do we know what's a good wine? And I'll say to them, do you like the wine in your glass? Because if you like the wine in your glass, that's good wine. That's a guarantee. Trust your palate, enjoy what you like. And you know the rules, people talk about white wine with white meat and red wine with red meat. Here's a perfect example. It's about the sauce, it's about the way it's cooked, it's grilled, and the wine, ultimately time of year, summertime, wintertime, time of day, lunchtime, evening time. You know, what do you feel like? What do you feel like right now? A big glass of red wine, a bright glass of white wine. Make it happy. Make it work for you. Cheers, Ruben.
Cheers, Ken.
Thanks, Ruben.
Listen, I like the way you talk, and I actually want to find out a few things from you that I never knew about you. The fact that you actually started in the restaurant and hotel business, and then you ended up in wine. Tell me a little bit about that.
I started in hotels. I worked in the golden era with Southern Sun Hotels. We opened up the big hotels, Maharani, Mabatu Sun City. I was on that opening management team. It was a fun time for us, real fun time. Worked directly with Sol Kerzner. Got to learn lots. Like, there was absolutely no reason whatsoever why Mabatu Sun couldn't have 18 palm trees in 3 weeks, fully grown.
The palm tree started there already.
Yeah, that's where it began. I can't tell you how long ago that was. 1977. Yeah, yes, a long time. Anyway, so we did that, and then I went on my own. I wanted to be on my own and got involved in restaurants. and got into the restaurant business and ended up with a couple of restaurants in Johannesburg and a partner. And eventually, after a long time in the restaurants and really having a good time and a fun time in the restaurants and winning all the Diners Club Wine List awards for our best wine list and all the rest of it for many years, eventually my passion was in the wine industry. And there was a discussion, you know, one gets home at sort of 3 in the morning from the restaurant and you meet your wife in the kitchen and you have that discussion about do you want a family or an empire or something like that. And we came down here to the Cape, to Stellenbosch, to a wedding. And while we were here, we had a look at a property. It was on the eve of the elections, 1993. And we decided we'd take the gamble on South Africa. And we stayed and we looked at a great piece of property. It was a great time. Basically, I said to my wife, let's buy the biggest piece of property we can't afford.
So now, I mean, it's 21 years later.
50 hectares of Stellenbosch, and we've been making wine for 21 years. We export the wines mainly to the UK, to the USA. Our biggest market is right here at home. South Africa is still our biggest market. Yeah, I'm having fun.
So Ken, tell me about the flagships of your, of your range.
We do 2 wines right at the top of the range called the FMC and the Gypsy. And the FMC and the Gypsy are both about a single vineyard site where the vineyard was planted a long time ago. It's on its own. It's unique. It's about the site that the vineyard is on. And it's not going to last forever. And we're looking at the FMC. The vineyard is predominantly from one block on our property, planted in 1970, already 44 years old. And the Gypsy is from a block planted 2.5 hours away, up in the Cederberg, up in Pick-en-Eastkloof, in the Tierhoek Valley behind Pick-en-Eastkloof, and on the way to Clanwilliam. And up there, at about 700 meters above sea level, we've got this special site, which is just 4 hectares, 10 acres of Grenache planted in 1959. Beautiful old vineyard, but getting very old and probably only got a few years left on it. You know, it's not going to make grapes forever.
1959.
Oh,
wow. Ken, I'm glad you brought Chenin Blanc. I mean, I love Chenin Blanc, and we all know you. I mean, Ken Forrester is sort of synonymous with Chenin Blanc. Why, why do you love that cultivar so much?
You know, first of all, because it always tastes like another sip. That's important.
Of course, yeah.
You know,
I was getting worried there.
No, if the wine in your glass doesn't taste like another sip, that's already a warning sign. But Chenin is a great drinking wine. It works fantastically with food. It doesn't have this raging acidity that you see on some grapes. It's got a nice balance to it. There's a richness, there's a texture. And for me, you know, wine needs that initial kind of, when you taste it, you get that slight astringency. You want texture on your palate, and then the finish. If you don't have those 3 parts, and Chenin invariably delivers all 3. Chenin comes to you, and it works really, really well with food. It's great food wine. If you've got spice, even curries, with Chenin Blanc, Chenin's a great foil for a curry because it doesn't, it really doesn't react in a kind of aggressive way. It almost sits back and takes the heat and comes back with fruit. So Chenin works really, really well in that respect.
So you're probably curious which wine I'm going to choose. I can choose both very easily.
You're stuck in the middle of a dilemma here. Is that pork, is that the other white meat or the other red meat? Because
can't even answer that. So Ken, what do you think I'm going to choose?
You know, that Renegade is a pretty wine. And with that port sauce, it might just edge in. But considering that summer is here right now, the Chenin Blanc's a really attractive option.
Well, spot on. I thought I'm going to go the other way, but I can taste everything on the plate, and it just goes beautifully with the Chenin Blanc. So that's my choice.
Good man, good man. Cheers, thank you.